Hello and welcome to my channel, and today we are filming my April TBR. In April, we are continuing the tradition of trying to complete a 30 books in 30 days challenge. I've tried doing this for the last 2 years and have not quite made it either year, so we're going to be trying again this year, and hopefully third time's the charm and we will actually get to doing it. This is typically the month that I don't like relying on manga or graphic novels to help me out, but sometimes it's a necessary evil, and that's okay. Okay, let's just jump right into the prompt picks. I have added a couple of new ones, so hopefully we get some of Anyway, pick number 1, we're gonna start out. I don't know what we're gonna pick, but the cats are being nosy, so we'll see. Oh, this is one of the new ones. A returning author. So a book by an author that I have read from before. One of my goals for the spring is to complete series. If you had seen my spring TBR, you would have probably already known that. So there's actually a lot that I could go for with this one. I do have a couple of options that really stood out to me. I definitely have more than this, but Vengeful, which I didn't actually put on my spring TBR, but I should have. I just ended up forgetting about it. This is the sequel to the Villains series by V. Schwab. The Toll, which will actually get me to finish a series. Sort of. It is the end of a trilogy, but there's also a collection of short stories that I could read and continue on and still be in this world. Commitment and Betrayal, which is technically the first in a series, but I have already read one of the books in it. And Amari and the Great Game, which is the sequel to Amari and the Night Brothers. Now to actually decide. So I could... 2 of these would actually get me caught up in a series, so I should probably go with one of those. The only thing that stinks about this is these are 2 pretty thick books. And if I'm trying to do a 30 and 30, I want some shorter picks. But I think I'm just going to go for The Toll. If I'm being honest, I really, really want to see how this series finishes out. And because I loved the first and the second one so much, I want to know more. I just haven't been able to fit it on a TBR or actually be able to prioritize it. So I think we're going to read it in April. All right, pick number 2. Ooh. Different genre from last read. Now I can interpret this in 2 ways, either a different genre from my last picked or a different genre from the last book that I finished. And the last book that I finished was actually Spy Family Volume 12. And I don't really know how to categorize that. I mean, it's not really like a fantasy, but it's not really contemporary. So I think I'm just gonna go with my last pick and make it a different genre from sci-fi, because this is a sci-fi book. And I think for that, why don't we go for a romance? Why don't we do Between Commitment and Betrayal? This is technically the first book in the Hardy Brothers series. I believe there are 4 books, but I could be wrong. I read the second book with a couple of my friends. We were supposed to start like a smut book club, and we have not read anything since the second one to this. I, however, decided that I wanted to continue on with the series on my own, so I picked up this one and just have not actually read it yet. But I really enjoyed the second one, so I don't see any reason why I would not enjoy this one. Pick number 3. An audiobook. So this can be literally any book as long as I'm able to get the audio version of it and listen to it that way. why don't we give ourselves something easy? This isn't one that I necessarily think I would want to read in the spring, even though it's on my spring TBR, but we're gonna give ourselves a middle grade. Greek Glass House. This is one that I got from my little free library. I know a lot of people have really enjoyed this, and I'm pretty sure I can get the audiobook because I know my library did have it at one point, so I can get it that way. If not, then I'll switch it for something else. Let's go pick number 4. Adaptation. So this can either mean a book that was inspired by, or it can either be a book that inspired a movie or a TV show, or it can be a book that was inspired by a movie / TV show. And I don't think I have any on here that have become TV shows or vice versa. I mean, I have one that it's technically a retelling, but it's not, but it wasn't what I had in mind when I made this prompt. Duh, actually I do. That is Song of the Dark Crystal. This is a prequel series. This is the second book in it, to The Dark Crystal, the Jim Henson movie. I read the first one, enjoyed it. These are actually pretty quick reads, so I could definitely get through this one for the 30 and 30 challenge. And then pick number 5. Oh no, I'm missing a ball. I think this one kind of just picked itself because it was technically already open, so it's telling me to pick that one. But I already got this one last month. Buzzword personal. So I did get this one last month, but I think I'm gonna play it, because the one that I did not pick for last time, I do want to pick this time. The Goblin Emperor. For some reason, goblins and monsters of that variety really make me want to read a book. So we're gonna read this. I think this one, it's about a half goblin son who is 4th in line, and he spent his entire life in exile, but then his father and his brothers end up dying, and people think it's like a mystery as to how they died, but he doesn't quite believe that because circumstances are leading him to think that it might not have been an accident and he might be the next person to die. So I'm really intrigued in this one. It is definitely fantasy. I'm really excited and hope it doesn't let me down. Now, because I'm doing a 30 and 30, I think I'm actually going to pick 10 books instead of 5. I was debating about whether or not to do this, but honestly, go big or go home. So why not just do 10? It's just going to make getting my full TBR a little bit harder, but it might actually challenge me in a good way to actually read these books. So let's pick number 6. A new to me author. A lot of these books are super chunky. I was not thinking about that when I was trying to plan this TBR. You know what? I think I'm going to pick this one, How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying. This is one that I have wanted to read since I've heard about its existence, and again, just have not been able to put it on a TBR or prioritize it, and we're going to this month. All right, pick number 7. Is to start a series. I gotta fix that paper because it's a little wonky. Why don't we go with a nice and easy one? This is The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. I also was thinking about using this for new to me author, but this one is just over 200 pages. It looks like it could be a short, easy read. And I don't know much about it. Benson wanted to get into the Discworld series, so they had me pick this one up when I went to Barnes & Noble a couple months ago. Have I read it yet? Of course not. But I don't know much about it. Pick number 8. Ooh, a new one. Begins with the first letter of the month. We are going into the month of April. So the first letter of that month, obviously, is the letter A. And I think I only have one option. And that is the Archive of the Forgotten. Of course, I don't count the or A or an. This is the second book in the House Library series. I really enjoyed the first one to the point where I read it twice just to make sure I got all of the information. And I have tried reading the sequel. I just wasn't really a fan of the direction it was taking. So I did put it down, but I haven't completely DNF'd it. I do want to give it a really good shot before I decide to DNF this series, because I really don't want to, because I have so many fond memories of the first book that I would like to continue on with the series and finish the series, because I think it's only a trilogy with the same outlooks. So we'll see about that. Pick number 9. Manga. So if I am reading at the pace that I have been, I have finished my N manga. I just got the volumes of my O manga, so I should be finishing that before the end of the month, and we'll be on to the letter P. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically for 2024 and 2025, I have tasked myself to read a manga starting with a different letter each month. In 2025, there are going to be a couple of months that double up in terms of letters. So in April, we are reading a P manga, and we're actually going to read a series that Benson gave me the first book of for Christmas, Penguin House. So I have 3 volumes. At the time that Benson bought it for me, I thought only one existed, and then we went to the mall and I found 2 more. So I have to see how many volumes of this series actually exist. But it just looks really, really cute, and I have no idea what it's about other than penguins, and I'm hoping it doesn't let me down, because I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, but there was like a penguin waiter or butler manga that I was really excited for because I thought it looked super cute, and ended up being so disappointing. Like, I had absolutely no interest in it. I pretty much gave it a 1 star. It just wasn't as cute or as good as I was expecting it to be. So I'm really hoping this one doesn't disappoint me as much, or at all, actually. And then pick number 9, or number 10, actually, the last pick. Bear's yelling at something. Gifted. I don't think I have any books that are gifted that I haven't read yet. So technically only one of these were gifted, but I think I'm going to put both of them on the TBR. One of them I bought myself, one of them Benson bought me for Christmas, and I almost forgot about it. I'm going to read the 2 Spider-Punk graphic novels that I have. The one Benson gave me being... was it Arms Race? I actually don't remember. If I'm being honest, I don't remember which one, but we watched Into the Spider-Verse, which has quickly become one of my favorite movies of all time, and Spider-Punk is, of course, in that movie, and I quickly fell to love his character so much that I wanted to read more comics, but there aren't a ton that aren't interconnected with like other Spider-Man lore, and as much as I would love to read all of the Spider-Man comics, I just don't have enough time, and it's a little confusing. I'm not 100% sure where to start. So we found these 2, And I can't wait to read them. I can't believe I haven't picked them up yet, in all honesty. This just shows you how much I get distracted by the TBRs that I put for myself. Like, I'm not prioritizing the books that I actually want to read and honestly keep forgetting exist. Okay, so actually a very big stack this month. We're going to see how many of these we get to. A lot of manga and graphic novels, which is good. We actually got them on this, in this stack, because if we had to add them on, it probably would have been a lot more complicated. So I actually am glad that we got them into the TBR. However, we do have to pick out of our series and rereads jar. So in terms of rereads, I should be finishing Hidden Pictures, the reread for that I've been working on for a while, this month, because I have finally actually started it. And then in terms of series, I did say we were rolling over the series if we did not finish it. I think Benson and I are on track to finish the series by the end of the month. They're very short books. So we could, if I get the installments that I need next, because we do have 2 left, but then we need to buy the other, I think 4 or 5. So I'm going to say we'll finish those by the end of the month, but even if we don't, I'll roll them over into April, and they'll help us get to our 30 and 30 goal anyway. And then, yeah, then that we'll still pick another one. Hidden Pictures, again, I should finish. It's reading very quickly if I sit down and prioritize it. We'll talk about that. First, we're going to pick out of the series jar and see which one we're continuing / starting and continuing. Hold on. I went to go grab one that I actually knew we finished, but it disappeared on me. Anyway, let's pick one. Okay. Daughter of Smoke and Bone, which we happen to have right here. Again, this is not one that I really wanted for April because it's chunky, but I listened to the last one on audio, so I could probably finish this one on audio and actually finally complete the series after so many years. I think I got this series in like 2017 when I started to get back into reading. Maybe even 2016. This might have been the first series I picked up after falling in love with The Night Circus. It's been a long time. I've had this series on my shelves for as long as my relationship. And I've been with Benson almost 9 years. That's insane. If you don't know what the series is about, really, I always recommend going in blind. This is the 3rd and final book in the series, following an angel and a demon. And all you really need to know about the series is an angel and a demon fall in love, and it does not end well. Basically, the 2nd book really, really broke my heart, and I've been nervous to pick up this next one, kind of on the same wavelength as The Toll. I've been really, really, really nervous to pick this one up. But it looks like we're going to have to this month, or push it into the next month. Then, in terms of rereads, I could pull out of the jar, or I could start the next volume, or the next part in the book battle series. Let's pull out of the jar, and then if I don't like the selection that I get, then we will do the next installment of Bookish Battles. That might be cheating, but my game, my rules. Sorry, not sorry. My bad. Okay. Gallant. Cannot, because that is actually the second, that was in the 2nd installment of Bookish Battles, so it makes no sense to read it again. Goldilocks. This is a graphic novel. Sorry, I don't know if that's focusing. This is a graphic novel that takes place in the Land of Stories world. And I have a lot of graphic novels already. Not that I don't love a good graphic novel, I do, but I said with the 30 and 30 I don't like relying on graphic novels if I can help it. So I think what we're gonna do is plan the next installment of Bookish Battles. Okay, I think for the next installment, and maybe this is a little spoiler, so if you don't want to know, you can go ahead and skip ahead to the outro if you would like. But we're gonna be reading In Deeper Waters versus The Book Jumper. This is one that I've also had on my shelves for a very, very long time. This one I read more recently, but really don't remember a whole ton of it. So we'll see which one stays and which one goes in that installment, giving us a grand total of 16 books out of the 30 on this TBR. Oh, I didn't forget that time. I have to do an unwrapped. I almost forgot an unwrapped. So that'll actually bring us to 17 instead of 16. And we went for a little bit of a shorter one. Oh, perfect. Perfect, actually. This is the Serial Killers of the 70s. This is a collection of stories about serial killers. Well, not stories, but information. So this is actually perfect because I can split this up into the month instead of sitting down and reading it all in one go. And that'll be really good for the 30 and 30. Okay. Also, I have the next installment of Read It or Delete It planned already, and actually that one I have a lot of audiobooks for that one, and also there's a lot of anthologies and short story collections, so that will actually add to the 30 and 30. So we now have 17 plus whatever we end up reading for Read It or Delete It. I am actually really excited. This is the most excited that I've been for a TBR in a while. Leave in your comments any books from this stack that you are excited to hear my thoughts on, any books I should prioritize before the others. And if you really don't have anything to say, let me know your favorite animal. Make sure to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more from me, as well as Benson, who's a frequent member on this channel. I will leave all of those links down in the description box below, as well as links to my social media if you want to get any more updates from me. But until then, goodbye.